FreedomMunitions.com, your online ammunition destination, presents The High Road with Keith Warren.
We hunt for different reasons, but it's more than just the kill.
First off, I'm grateful to be an American, to live in a country that still has country like this.
It's about the experience, freedom, passion, and adventure. I'm Keith Warren, and like you, I live for the hunt.
Today we're in what I think is one of the prettiest parts of the Texas Hill Country, and it's one of my favorite parts. We're at the FTW Shooting School just out of Barksdale, Texas. And coming along with me is my daughter, Matti. And the reason why I'm bringing her here, because I need to find a good coach.
Well, Keith, who we always look forward to having here, has been here many times, and usually he brings Colton. And we've had a lot of fun. Colton's a great shot. But this time we have someone really special. He's bringing his daughter, Matti, who we're looking forward to meeting, and I hear nothing but wonderful things about. So I'm sure we're going to have a great time.
I've grown up in the outdoors shooting and hunting, and I think that's made me into the person I am today. And it's great because it's the way I spend time with my friends and my family. Me and my dad are close because we have the same interests, which are the outdoors and shooting and hunting and all that good stuff. This weekend is great because I haven't spent a lot of time with my dad lately just because I've been so busy with school and he's been working. So I'm really happy to reconnect and get back to where we are.
You know, we get asked a lot, what is SAM? Is it just for hunters? Is it a long-range shooting school? And you know, SAM's really for everyone. A lot of people accuse me of not being able to spell, but SAM actually means sportsman's all-weather, all-terrain marksmanship. If you want to learn how to shoot longer distances on steel, that's great. We're the place for that. If you really want to become a good hunter and understand what your limitations are and the shots you should and should not make, SAM's the right school for you.
I've been out here 3 times now. The first time and second time I came out here and brought Colton. Now, Colton has been a crack shot ever since he was a pup. Colton is he's a young man now. I brought him out here to the FTW twice, and I mean, Colton listens, he understands ballistics, he understands his limitations, the equipment's limitations, and personally, I think Colton pays a whole lot more attention, knows a whole lot more about it than me now. I mean, a lot of times I'll wind up saying, Colton, what do you think on this one? Because Colton has paid attention, he's focused, he's passionate about it. But then on the other hand, I've got Matti. I mean, Matti is my little girl. I mean, she's a little girl that I've always wanted, and she's going into her junior year at Texas A&M now. But you know, she's been out with me too ever since she was little bitty. I mean, she was on the bottle when she was out with me. She started shooting just like Colton, and she was shooting small caliber stuff. I mean, BB guns, pellet guns, and we took her on a youth hunting program one time, and I knew better. But they told her she had to shoot a .243 rifle, and when she did that, she said, Daddy, it hurts. And she developed a fear of guns. I mean, a fear because the recoil was too much. And so at that point, she stopped shooting a gun, and it broke my heart because I thought I shouldn't have let that happen. And that's one thing as a parent or as a shooter, I tell people, don't let people wind up shooting a gun that's too big for them because it'll scare them. They'll develop bad habits. So Matti wound up started shooting a crossbow. And Matti's killed a pile of animals with a crossbow. I mean, she's an unbelievable archer. She's shooting now a vertical bow, and all of a sudden she got big enough, and all of a sudden she had enough confidence that she started shooting a rifle again. And let me tell you what, we have been nurturing her along, and she's a great shot. I knew that by bringing her out here to the FTW, these guys are professionals. And so when they tell her something, she's gonna listen to them a little bit better than she listens to her daddy. She's gonna do what they say, where maybe she wouldn't do what I say at this point. And so I'm real anxious to see how all this instruction is going to help her out.
It's going to be really wonderful on this trip because not only is Keith bringing his daughter Matti, but we have a dad and mom bringing their 3 daughters ages 16 to 20. And it's always really fun to see families come together. It's a bonding event. And it's really great to see young folks learn how to get into the shooting business. Whether they hunt or not, it doesn't matter. It's great fun. A lot of it, I think, is a responsibility and a self-confidence that comes with learning how to shoot well and handle a gun safely.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Reconics, 10X high-performance hunting gear, Legendary Arms Works, Sightmark, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%. And Tannerite. The High Road will be right back.
Today we're at FTW Ranch and we're doing a SAM precision and hunting training course. It's going to help us be better shooters and better hunters overall.
Well, listen, we're about to have a ton of fun. In the next 5 nights, 4 days, if you're not having fun, we're going to check your pulse. Something's wrong with you.
Yeah, FTW Ranch has been around since approximately '96. It's Fallon Trophy Whitetail. It's a 12,000 acre ranch. We have a facility here with over 20 something ranges. I can't remember where we're at right now. We are able to analyze each hunter that comes through here, and we provide them training that maximizes their individual potential.
There are a couple things I really want to learn this weekend. One, I want to learn how to handle that recoil better without any question when I send off a shot. I want to know that I'm comfortable. 2, I really want to learn more about the math behind sighting in your rifle and long-range ballistics. And then 3, I just want to pick up some more tips on how to feel stable and steady.
Any shooting school is going to involve some classroom work, and these instructors are about as qualified as they get. But in this class, we also get to enjoy the company of the Anderton family and the prolific gun writer, Phil Massaro, who brings his own wealth of knowledge to the table, not to mention some laughs.
This is actually a really fun classroom environment. You're with a bunch of people who care about the same thing as you, which is getting to be a better shot.
Being in a classroom with Matti is it's a dream come true for me. I'm sitting here, I'm looking, I want to make sure that she's getting it, that she's not daydreaming or something, that she's focusing, and she's focusing. It's like, leave me alone, Daddy, leave me alone. I'm paying attention. Are you paying attention?
You're not finding how many clicks, you're finding what the MOA you needed.
Oh, that's what you do.
Being in a classroom environment with my dad was great. I thought I was really bad at math, but I felt a little better when I looked over and saw him struggling too. I think it might be genetics.
Sitting next to her and watching her absorb all this is very rewarding for me, and it makes it realize that regardless of the cost of coming here to the FTW, it's worth every penny of it, because I know that the lessons that she learns and that I learn are going to stay with us the rest of our life. One of the things we wound up doing was leaving the classroom and going into a gun cleaning class, and I really need that.
All right, so here's kind of the drill on this, on the cleaning side of the house. We will have several times during the next 4 days we're going to clean guns, okay? The issue with guns, or gun barrels mostly, is that one of them will act different than the other. It's just the way it is. Some guns shoot better after about 9 rounds. Some guns shoot better after whatever number. It doesn't matter. That's why here we'll clean and shoot and see what does better.
Dirtying guns is a whole lot more fun than cleaning guns to me.
Yeah, well that's what your son's for, cleaning.
We spent some time cleaning the rifles, getting them all good to go, and the next stop is the range.
All right, so far today we've gone through some class work, and we've gone through some a cleaning class on how to properly maintenance the gun. Now we're down here at the lodge range, and our goals here is, number one, we're going to go through the 7 steps of the principles of marksmanship. We're going to demonstrate that, how to properly apply those. We're going to make sure the guns are properly fitted for each individual shooter. And we'll start putting our first shot down range, and then from there we'll make adjustments as needed according to where the groups are.
One of the most valuable lessons in the SAM shooting courses is what they refer to as the 7 fundamentals of marksmanship. The goal is for these steps to become second nature in every shooting scenario. Step 1, body position, or build your house.
1, body position. We go through an explanation of the techniques that we like to employ as far as setup.
That's going to be things like trying to achieve muscle relaxation. Okay, if your muscles and everything is relaxed, you're going to be less wiggly.
Step 2, acceptable reticle movement.
With the acceptable reticle movement, you have to be the judge of that. You watch the wobble, and if in that wobble there's any spot that you don't want your bullet to hit, you don't take that shot.
Use bags, use gloves, use slings, so we're minimizing reticle movement till we get it to a point where it's acceptable.
Step 3, breathing.
Take 3 or 4 deep breaths and then shoot on your natural respiratory pause. That means exhale, and now you got 5 to 8 seconds to get your shot off.
Step 4, sight focus.
It's kind of the old aim small, miss small mentality. We're aiming for a specific aim point on the animal.
Look at your target first. Pick the target, which piece of paper or which diamond that you're going to shoot. And once you're done focusing on that, then you transition your eye to 100% focus, center of that crosshair, and the target.
Step 5, trigger control.
And when we speak of trigger control, that's bringing the trigger to the rear without disturbing sight alignment or sight picture. In your mind, you're telling your finger to come straight back to the rear. Once the gun goes off or the hammer falls, the primer ignites, and the powder goes off, why does our finger release the trigger? And that act of releasing the trigger is a subconscious act, and we call that booger flicking.
Maybe you just feel guilty about jerking the trigger. If you feel guilty about jerking the trigger, your tendency is to fly your finger off the trigger really fast. So don't be a booger flicker. And now, if we tell you that you're booger flicking, then you'll know what we're talking about.
Step 6, follow through.
Maintain trigger contact through recoil, and then the signal to let go of the trigger is reaching for the bolt and running the bolt for follow-up shot. We have our own Timisms here. We call that ride the bull down here in Texas. All right, then the follow-through is very important for us as hunters. We teach here to stay on target, stay in the scope.
Step 7, call your shot and re-engage.
We don't want to come off the gun. Our absolute total goal and our 7th step is to stay on target and re-engage, prepare to follow up the shot.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Pulsar, Nemo Arms, Legends Ranch, the entire line of Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing systems, Record Rack Deer and Elk Feed, and FreedomMunitions.com, your online ammunition destination. The High Road will be right back. Tannerite Binary Reactive Rifle Targets presents viewer feedback.
This is from a viewer by the name of Jesse from Kentucky. He says, I'm headed to Africa for my first safari. I'll be primarily targeting plains game, but likely will hunt for buffalo. If you were to pick one caliber of rifle to use on this safari, what would it be and why? Jesse, that's a good question. If I were taking one rifle with me on a plains game / buffalo hunt, the caliber would be a 375 H&H, and the reason why is because it shoots a big enough round at a fast enough speed that you can take down just about anything on the planet. It doesn't have too much recoil if you get one with a muzzle brake, but 375 H&H is what I would recommend. That's a good question, Jesse.
Matti and I are at the FTW SAM shooting course, and we're just about ready to start reaching out to test our equipment and skills at further distances.
All right, so our goals there earlier was to get a good zero. That's very important. We start out with a really good grouping. That's very important for us because we're about to walk the bullets down range here. What we're about to do is what's called truing. In truing, the way this works is it's kind of reverse mathing, if you will. All right? Our plan is to dial out to about 500 to 700 yards in this particular case. The prediction of drop is in your hand. That's what we predict, the computer predicts. But in truing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna shoot it in the field, in this condition, in this atmosphere, and find out what the true drop is out at 500 to 700 yards. All right, gotta make sure our baseline's solid, our long distance shot is solid, and we have good data before we move forward. Sound good? Okay, reload quickly. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready. So after we all got zeroed in and we were comfortable with our rifles, we decided to push the limits and we went pretty far.
And Matti lit them up. I mean, she stepped it out to 300, 350, 400, 500.
Give me about one right.
Oh! She's bringing the noise now. What do you think, Matti?
850.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm sorry, 855.
that's awesome.
That's pretty good. Good shooting.
That's as far as she's ever shot before. There's a lot of things that are really basic in shooting and marksmanship that I think that a lot of people may overlook, and I think one is finding the load that your rifle really likes. There are so many different loads out there. The challenge is, as a shooter, whatever rifle you're shooting, find the ammunition that your rifle shoots the best, and we call it what your rifle likes the best. In my case, it's shooting Freedom Munitions 175 grain hollow point boat tail bullets. So this is the third time I'm here, and you'll notice I didn't bring a bolt gun this time. You'll notice I brought what I'm starting to call now a modern sporting rifle. This is a Nemo rifle. The reason why I brought it because it's exceptionally accurate. I'm going to be using it in hunting season this coming fall. I wanted to gain a lot of confidence in it. But the real reason why I brought the Nemo out here is because I wanted to show people that a modern sporting rifle can be a very effective hunting tool.
You know the benefit of bolt rifles, or bolt action rifles, they're inherently more accurate. Your gas guns, there's a pros and cons. The pro is accuracy. On the other side, you have your gas guns that have a potential for quicker follow-up. For example, Mr. T, he had to bring out his tannerite, so we went out to 100 yards, set some tannerite up. In that case, we had 5 total tannerites and 3 shooters. All right, hunters, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Re-engage, re-engage. Woo! Keith's got 2. Re-engage, re-engage.
And that's why I like to shoot a gas gun.
Again, Mr. T takes the lead with the Nemo. So Matti and Phil, they each got off 1 shot. They each shot a tannerite very accurately at 100 yards. And Keith had the gas gun with a little bit more advantage with the Nemo, and he shot 3 in the same time frame.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by PyramidAir.com, Liberty Safe, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%, Castle Rock Outfitters, and OpticsPlanet.com. The High Road will be right back.
After several days here at FTW SAM course, Matti's been introduced to a breadth of topics including gear, ballistics, truing, windage, and so much more. We've had a blast and Matti's got her equipment really dialed in. She's already beat her personal best yesterday at 850 yards, and she's ready to stretch it out even further.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
Dude, that's a hit. That's a hit.
3 times at 1,000 yards.
That's a 9-inch plate, the small one. I think it is.
Holy smoke.
That middle one was perfect too.
And
It was
that
like
hit,
right
almost
in
hit the
middle.
red dot. Hitting a 9 sub-minute plate, it doesn't get any better than that. It's a ton of fun to shoot long range. There's no doubt about it. In our case, what we learn from shooting long distances, it makes short distances just seem easy. The ability to shoot something long distance on a range where you train and you have time, you might as well cut that in half when you apply it to the field. That's the fact of the field. Our ultimate goal here is to get people to understand when they look through that scope or look down that sight, whether or not they can make that shot, and they're 100% guaranteed that they're going to make an ethical and a good solid hit.
One of the most important things we live and breathe by here at SAM is our motto and our belief that it is a hunter's job to kill the animal in the first shot.
That sign is posted in the classroom, where we eat, all the lodge rooms. This is what we believe in. That's what the hunter's job is. We're not advocates of the term long-range hunting, because that means I'm pushing the limit of the environment, my equipment, my experience. So while we're training, we want to understand as a hunter what our individual capabilities are, where are we out of our comfort zone.
We just finished up our last session and I'm super sad to say it's over. I learned so much. I'm more comfortable now. I'm more comfortable than I've ever been. I shot up to 1,000 yards, which I still can't get over. The past couple of days we've been mainly shooting in the prone stance just because it's the most accurate, but I really liked when Doug showed us some more realistic stances for out in the field. We did a couple where you were kneeling, we did somewhere where you were standing up and you had some support under your arms and your armpit, and we just went over a bunch of more realistic stances. I'm squeezing the trigger now consistently. I've developed good habits. I learned a lot of tips about, using bags as support, and I came into this super pumped to spend time with my dad, and I never want to take for granted the fact that we can bond over something we both love and learn and grow together shooting.
Well, at SAM we have two basic courses. We have Precision and Safari. On the Precision side we have your basic standard courses, 5-night, 4-day, and then we have the SAM Advanced. And that's for post-grads who really want to take it to the next level. On the Safari course, this is where we really prepare people not only to shoot well in medium cals at longer distances out to 300 and 400 yards. It gets into dangerous game, big boars, getting chased by elephants, buffaloes, getting ready for your leopard hunt, your lion hunt. And it's a great way to prep for that. And look, it's really inexpensive insurance considering the amount of money these safaris cost today.
The icing on the cake here is how well they treat you. They feed you great. The home cooked meals are outrageous. There's cookies every day. They're fresh baked. The chocolate's melting. They're great. I mean, you're with people who love the same thing as you. They're all great Americans. It's so fun.
We have complete strangers come oftentimes. A lot of our businesses repeat, obviously, but when we get new folks here, you can see the apprehension in their face, and by the time they leave after 4 days, we're all one family. It's probably the most wonderful thing about what we do, other than the fact that we're teaching people how to be safe and really good hunters.
You know, we've had a lot of fun the last 4 days. This has been a great trip. We've had so much fun, good experiences, learned a lot. Look forward to seeing all the Warrens back. I'd like to see Colton come back and see us again. Matti was just fantastic. Keith is a great guy. Any day, I'd love to see him back.
Honing our skills, whether as a hunter or a target shooter, is a job that's never done, and that's part of what makes it so fun. But the real joy is getting to spend time with family and friends, celebrating the freedoms that our country has to offer. And for that reason, you can bet that I'll be looking for another opportunity to visit my friends here at FTW.